Hello. There we go. I think we are up and running, sitting here in our TBM 930, parked at the airport in Grenada, and we're going to head down to Trinidad and Tobago today on a short flight in virtual reality with the Oculus Quest 2. Let's see if we can get ourselves all situated here. Quick look outside the aircraft. Weather is pretty clear. We're at Point Salines International. There we go. There's really just one main runway here. We are going to need to get a bit of pushback from the folks in front of us, which I didn't really account for. So we're going to have to drive through him because that doesn't seem to work well in VR. I don't have a button for this really. So let's get ourselves started here. Let's move the crash bar up. Get the battery and generator going. We'll turn on our engine starter. Fuel pump to auto, fuel tank selection to automatic, and we will arm the autopilot. We have our flight plan programmed in. Let's go to low idle.
System test. Okay.
Yaw damper on. We will turn our half bank mode on for a nice comfortable flight for the passengers and myself. Bleed to auto. Come on, one more. There we go. And we are up and running. Get some lights going. The other way. So what do we have here? We've got a couple of runways. Sorry, just one runway, of course. Okay. Let's make sure we got our nav source set to the FMS. And that should do it for all of our configurations. Let's make sure we get our altimeter set properly for where we are. Just peeking through the nose piece to make sure everything looks okay on stream. It appears to be. Let's see if we get ourselves on the ground frequency, which is 121.9er. That's the wrong button. Chalk 280 radio check.
280, you are loud and clear.
Excellent. Chalk 280 ready to copy IFR clearance.
Chalk 280 is cleared to Tango Papa has filed. Expect departure runway 10. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 3426.
Expect runway 10, 4,000 feet, Chalk 280.
Chalk 280, this is Morris Bishop ground on 121.9. Please repeat your request.
I'm not going to actually give you the readback because I can't remember that and it's really hard to take notes while in VR. We will be using vertical speed to get to 4,000. We want runway 10, which is behind us to the right. That end. That's good. So we take off into the water, sort of into the sea. Unless I've got it wrong again, which I might. I honestly, for some reason, I really struggle with that. I don't know why. Chalk 280 ready to taxi.
Contact tower on 118.9. Enjoy your afternoon.
Chalk 280 ready to taxi.
Chalk 280 contact Maurice Bishop ground on 121.9.
Chalk 280 ready to copy IFR clearance.
Aircraft calling ground. Say again with your call sign.
Chalk 280 ready to copy IFR clearance.
Chalk 280 is cleared to Tango Papa has filed. Expect departure runway 10. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 3426.
Expect runway 10, climb and maintain 4,000 feet, chalk 280. So now I'm really curious because I feel like it didn't fully get that. So I'm gonna do something temporarily here and see if I can get the pilot to ATC window here. Okay, so it did take us, alright. Chalk 280 ready to taxi.
Chalk 280 taxi to runway 10.
Taxi to runway 10, chalk 280. Okay, so that actually worked reasonably well. So, let's get ourselves taxiing then. Let's see if we can make a really tight right turn here. That's kind of what we need. Don't actually know. Like, this takes us to the runway. Can we have gone that way? I think we might have been able to. I forgot to check the charts again. Which is actually... Hold on, we're going the wrong way. We should be going this way. Nothing like just moving all around the runway just for funsies. I'm sure that if there was a tower here, they would just be like, "Get off the flippin' runway, you moron!" And I'd be like, "Sorry, I do this every time. My bad." It's difficult to actually, I don't think that there are any actual proper exits out of this little area, so we're just gonna hop over some grass here. Yeah. It's gotta make it up as we go on this little airport here. Oh, see, there is a path there, but it's not really wide enough for an airplane. Okay, well, we went to the right place at least eventually. Chalk 280 ready for departure, runway 10.
Chalk 280 contact tower on 118.9.
Chalk 280 ready for departure, runway 10.
Chalk 280 winds are 094 at 16 knots cleared for takeoff. Runway 10 squawk 3426 maintain runway heading until above 1000 feet then turn right heading 211 to intercept course.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 10, Chalk 280.
Chalk 280 you were garbled.
No, I wasn't.
Please say again.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 10, Chalk 280. Okay, let's go. And the TBM 190, the TBM 930 has so much power. Oh, a rainbow. Awesome. What a view, what a view. A little bit of white caps on the water.
Chalk 280 contact Piarco Center on 123.7. Have a nice day.
Center on 123.7, Chalk 280. Chalk 280 at 2,000, climbing for 4,000 feet.
Chalk 280, good afternoon. Squawk 3426.
We should probably actually do that. Where is my mouse? Mouse? Oh boy. Come on, Oculus. I just want the mouse. Three, 2, 4, 6, I believe, is what they were telling us to squawk. Okay. We're good. A little bit of clouds, not too much. 17 degrees. More of that rainbow there.
Chalk 280, climb and maintain flight level 050.
Climb and maintain flight level 050, Chalk 280. Okay, 5,000 feet is going to be our cruising altitude. We don't have very far to go. What does the autopilot say? 6 minutes till Imoro, and yeah, it's not going to be that long of a flight. I've tweaked some of the Oculus settings for the VR thing. So I'm using the Oculus, well actually no, I'm not using the Oculus Link cable. I bought a third-party one because for some reason the USB-C port on my motherboard is garbage. And it was really touchy. It just, you know, the slightest movement of the cable would get it to disconnect and then it wouldn't reconnect until a reboot, and just generally annoying things like that. So I just purchased on Amazon a USB-A to USB-C cable, 5 meters long, It's an active cable, like it was known to work with the Quest 2, and I get a great, it's really good. I get 2.3 gigabits per second throughput on it, so it's a good cable. And so I'm using that, and then I went into the Oculus app software, and I changed the frequency to 80 hertz, which is not the maximum. But so 80 hertz, and then I cranked the resolution all the way up to something like 5000 by 2000 something, the very max of the slider, 1.6. And then I'm using the Oculus tray tool to set ASW, asynchronous space warp, to 30, which is giving me great performance.
Approach to runway 10 at PRCO International.
And it looks beautiful because I have everything on high or ultra. Roger, Chalk 280. The text is pretty clear, pretty easy to read. Like, it's not, you know, I have to lean forward a little bit for some of the smaller text, but it is definitely readable. And I mean, it looks gorgeous looking at even the textures on the airplane. They do look really good. Not just in the headset, but hopefully on the stream they look okay. I know the stream quality is not quite as high as it would be if I was just streaming in, you know, Ultra 4K 2D resolution, but I love flying this thing in VR. It feels so real. It's incredible. And I've started streaming for shacknews.com, their Twitch channel, twitch.tv/shacknews. I stream there every Thursday night between 6 and 8 p.m. Pacific time. And I don't do VR there. I just stream in, you know, 2D because it's a little bit easier to interact with a larger crowd of people watching and stuff like that. And that is fun, but it is a very different experience than doing this in VR. Like virtual reality, it feels like I'm sitting in this cockpit. And it's a really cool sensation. Let's look behind us. Flying empty today, as always. I wonder if at some point, like I know you can add weights for passengers. I wonder if at some point they would actually, you know, add in something like fake bodies in the back there, because that would be kind of cool. It's a little curious that this chat is not showing me the chat messages from Pretzel Rocks, the music bot, but whatever. This is the last of our Caribbean flights for a little while. From Trinidad and Tobago, we're sort of flying along the northeast coast of Central America for a little bit. And I believe we're going to end up circling back through the Caribbean. We must, because there are more countries there that we haven't yet visited on our world tour. But the next flight is going to be a bit of a longer one, so we'll see how that goes in VR. We will see. We will see. I might have to... Maybe now that, you know, bringing Windows in here seems to work fairly well, even though for some reason I can't get all the apps to show up that I want to get in here. So by the way, the thing that asynchronous space warp does, it's an Oculus thing. I believe it's their technology. I'm not sure if other headsets do that as well. But it tries to guess frames in between. Like when the frame rate gets too low, it tries to interpolate what should be in between. And it results in smoother performance in VR at lower frame rates. Because honestly, I mean, one of the biggest challenges with VR is just you have so many pixels to drive that usually your FPS suffers greatly. But with that, it kind of, you know, it uses logic or whatever, and it tries to guess what will be in between that. So I think maybe some of these tend to be a little bit less sharp, maybe? I'm not sure. The clouds look pretty, though. At least they do to me in the headset. And I think it just results in a smoother experience. And the one thing that you want in VR, you want it to be smooth. You don't want it to be stuttery, because that gets really hard on the brain when things don't seem smooth and normal, so to speak. I think you can kind of make out some of the higher elevations of Trinidad and Tobago ahead of us there, on the horizon behind the clouds. Yeah, we're basically just flying over that edge there, and then we're making a left turn to land. What's the weather look like? Just a little bit of just a few scattered clouds in between. Nothing crazy. Clouds in this game look really incredible. They look very realistic. And the sun is in that direction, so we're getting a lot of glare on the water. This looks very cool, though. So one thing I can probably already program into our autopilot, that I know we're going to be descending at some point down to 4,000 feet. And then probably 2,500 and then 1,700 is when we pick up our glide slope for the RNAV approach on runway, I believe it's runway 10 as well, I think. If I remember correctly from when I planned this flight. I've had a couple questions on previous videos about whether or not the Oculus Quest 2 is worth getting for flight simming in VR. And all I can say is there's, first of all, there's not a whole lot of VR headsets out there. And there's a big difference in price between the Quest 2 and, let's say, a Valve Index or a Reverb G2. And I think the fact that the Quest 2 gives you wireless freedom and literally the ability to take it anywhere for lots and lots of great games, and it gives you the ability to plug it into your PC and use it for, flight sim, any of the other PC VR games out there. You can play the Oculus exclusive games, of which there are a couple of quite good ones. Lone Echo, and there's another one that I forget the name of now. There's a couple of Oculus exclusives that are really good. And you get to play all the Steam VR games as well. To me, it's honestly a no-brainer. It doesn't quite have the resolution of the Reverb G2, but considering how difficult that one is to get, and that it's almost like 2.5 or 3 times the price of a Quest 2, I would wholeheartedly recommend the Quest 2. Now, the whole fact that you have to have a Facebook account is a whole different story, but that's just, you know, it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers some other people. And I did just order the Elite strap, so hopefully it will sit a little bit more comfortably. The default, the regular strap is okay.
Marco approach on 119.0. Have a good afternoon.
Approach on 119.0, Chalk 280.
Chalk 280 frequency is 119.0.
Chalk 280 at 5,000 feet.
Chalk 280, good afternoon. Squawk 3426, turn right heading 204 vectors to the RNAV approach for runway 10 at the Arco International, maintain flight level 050.
Turn right heading 210, Chalk 280.
Chalk 280, turn right heading 204.
Oh, 204, okay.
Chalk 280 heading is 204.
Turn right heading 204, Chalk 280. So ATC is going to vector us in, give us a slightly longer approach than what we had programmed in here, and I struggle with that still. It's an issue I have with Pilot to ATC. For some reason, it didn't have the approach waypoint in the game.
Turn right heading 217.
Turn right heading 217, Chalk 280. It didn't have the approach waypoint in Flight Simulator that Pilot to ATC wanted me to have. So we're going to have our usual autopilot issue here, but we're just going to rely on ATC. It should get us to, it's not going to take us too far off, it's just going to take us a little bit further out, give us a little bit smoother of an approach into our destination airport. So there's some slight artifacting from the ASW on the clouds every once in a while as it's trying to fill in the gaps to make it smoother, but honestly, I don't mind that. It's not that big a deal. Considering what it does and how it lets me have ultra high graphics settings of very high resolution for better readability in the cockpit and still maintain smooth motion, I'm okay with a couple of minor sort of artifacty things. It's not a big deal at all. And I think perhaps in the future, if the VR experience gets more optimized in Flight Simulator 2020, I might be able to dial some of that back and fine-tune it so that it doesn't, you know, have to rely on ASW as much.
Chalk 280, turn left heading 204.
Turn left heading 204, Chalk 280. Quite the elevations on these little arms here on Trinidad and Tobago. You can see on our display here that just in the front there, it's a little bit of a mountain range. Gorgeous views. And having the windshield, like the little specks of dirt on the windshield, on the glass here, in VR, it looks so realistic, like it looks as if I could, you know, knock against it with my hand.
Chalk 280 descend and maintain 4,000 feet altimeter 2982.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, Chalk 280. Man, that looks pretty.
Chalk 280 turn left heading 191 descend and maintain 3,500 feet.
Turn left heading 191, descend and maintain 3,500 feet, Chalk 280. I feel like for some reason our throttle in the window in there has actually stopped moving. When I'm moving the physical throttle, I'm still having impact on the engine, but that thing there seems to be just stuck for some reason. I don't know why. I don't care. The airplane's doing.
Chalk 280 cleared for RNAV to runway 10, fly heading 132 to intercept final descent and maintain 2,500 feet.
Fly heading 132 to intercept, maintain 2,500 feet. Chalk 280. Down to 2,500. Yeah, so this is where the autopilot still thinks we're going to go to NAPCO, so we can't really rely on it, unfortunately. Super, super annoying. I'm going to... Once again, I do not have the mouse cursor somehow. I'm going to click and something weird's going to happen. That's because it's stuck inside that window there. There it is. I'm gonna see if I can go direct to Lexor. Can I go direct to... Activate direct to Lexor. Okay, now if I switch to nav, you should take me there, yes? Because I think I actually see our runway way back there. Lexor, we want to be at 2,500, and then the next waypoint after that, which is Talus, we want to be at 1,700 to intercept glide slope.
Chalk 280 altimeter 2982 at the Arco International Contact Tower on 118.1. Enjoy your afternoon.
Tower on 118.1, Chalk 280. Chalk 280 at 2,500 feet.
Chalk 280, good afternoon. Squawk 3426, continue RNAV to runway 10, call when established on final.
We'll call when established on final, Chalk 280.
Chalk 280, this is PIA.
I don't know why it doesn't
Tower
recognize
on
that.
118.1, please repeat your request.
So it's, I think it's pretty much going to leave the rest of this up to us now. So I'm going to punch in 1,700. Hey. Oh, and the autopilot's gone completely fucking crazy. I hate when it does that. It literally, you can do a direct to, but then it goes batshit crazy. And the last time I pushed a button here, it just crashed the game. So we're going to ignore that. We can fly this ourselves. We're on the right heading. We can see the runway. Let's get ourselves down to 1700. We're going to go slow down a bit. We can see the lights there, so we're looking pretty good. And I may not actually capture the glide slope, but I can see it, so I'll have an idea of where I want to be. One level of flaps. That is Port of Spain to our left there. We are actually off a little bit. Okay, let's disengage the autopilot. We're gonna hand fly this landing here. We can do it. I have an idea of the glide slope just by looking at where that diamond is, so I can pretty much judge what altitude I should be at. Which means we should actually be a little bit higher. I mean, yes, higher, yeah. Chalk 280 on final.
280, you were garbled. Please say again.
Chalk 280 on final approach, runway 10.
Chalk 280, winds are 115 at 10 knots, cleared to land runway 10.
Clear to land runway 10, Chalk 280. See, this is the thing about depth perception. Like, it looks to me like we're too low for the, based on the glide slope, but looking out of the cockpit, I actually feel like we're okay here. I am going to get some more flaps so we can slow down and get a bit of a better approach angle here. It's the way I see it, we're actually high. Just looking out the window. Well, maybe not. Feels like we're barely moving, but we're still going 100 knots. See, if we nail this landing, who needs autopilot for the actual approach anyway? I do not have the nice indicator lights to tell me what my altitude is like height-wise, but we're coming in at a good speed. We're coming in probably a little bit steep, but we're going to straighten that out once we get a bit closer here. I don't know, I think we're looking pretty decent here. Time will tell. I've got the landing rate manager app or whatever it's called running, so it will tell me whether or not our landing speed here was appropriate or not.
Chalk 280.
Perfect landing, look at that.
When able.
Look at that. Perfect hand-flown landing. I'm very happy with that, actually. Where shall we park? Over there, maybe. Chalk 280, clear of runway 10.
Chalk 280, welcome to PIARCO International Contact Ground on 121.75. Enjoy your stay.
We're not going to need to talk to ground. We're just going to find ourselves a lovely parking spot in the back here. You see any of these? I don't see any of the ground personnel around. Usually I like to park in front of them, but we'll just park in front of this little structure over here. That looks like as good a place as any, to be honest. Wow, I'm really happy with that landing. Really happy with that landing. Alright. Get the parking brake on. I'm using a wireless mouse and it is does not respond well. There we go. Okay. All the lights off. Everything off. Let's shut everything down. We have arrived. And I just see that, yes, of course, my chat window does not work at all. So, thanks for checking in, Demon. I don't know why this stupid thing here is not showing the chat. I really have to find a solution to that. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. I love this little flight. Next one's going to be longer, so that should be interesting. We'll see how everything goes then. See if I can move this throttle over. Probably not. It never really lets me do it. Nope. And I just can't move it back. That's alright. Somewhere here we can turn it off. Close fuel valve. There we go. We are done. Take care, folks. Have a lovely week.